in the 6 months that Susan's passed, there's maybe been a handful, maybe 5 days that I haven't shed a tear for my wife. It's just, again, it's just something I'm going to carry with. I count my grief as a sign of my love for my wife. And so I will grieve the rest of my life because I loved her so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited for today's guest, PHG. I'm sure many of you have heard of him before. Maybe a little under a year that I first found Papa's stream, and I think it was VKG and Rob had said, "Oh, you got to check this guy out." And ever from the time I did, I was like, I can connect with this guy. And from that time, I always do my best to try to pop into the stream, always good energy, but at the same time, there's sometimes there's days that we're going through shit, So welcome. I'll hand the floor over to you for a quick intro and we'll go from there.
Hello, everybody. Papa, PhD. Good to be here.
Let's start right there. How did Papa House of Games come to be?
Okay, so the YouTube channel itself was all on a suggestion by my wife, Susan. Once I got the PS5 a few years ago, I noticed on there that there was an option to live stream straight from the PS5. And my wife pushed me because I really didn't want to. I thought, who's going to watch, a middle-aged 50-year-old guy driving around or playing video games? But so she pushed me into it. And it just took off from there. The team of PHG started as a joke itself, too. I don't know, many of you kind of remember PHG Chris, Apex Chris, the Prez. He just showed up in one of the lobbies one day and said, "Dude, check out what I did to my name." And he had PHG on it. It was like, oh, I got to do that. So I went and added PHG. So I wasn't even in the first PHG member. It was Chris, the Prez, and it just took off from there. One season, I think it was NRL season 2 or 3. I don't even remember now. Everybody wanted to join PHG all of a sudden. We had like 50, 60 people join in the span of one NRL season. It was freaking crazy. It just took off. But I'm honored to have every one of them.
So approximately how many members would you say that you would have now?
So last check we did, when we did a roster update, we were right at the 100 mark.
Wow.
But that was a while ago. So I'm assuming we're going to be doing another one here soon, a roster update. We'll probably be around that 50, 60 mark would be my guess.
Well, I do know you have one
drivers.
more.
Yes, I do. We do.
Rob, and it's funny because I wanted to do it for the longest time, and I wanted that PhD in front of my name. And Rob was always promoting it and like just pop in the Discord. And is it Leo?
Yeah, Leo's the PhD recruiter.
He's like, oh, you got, and same as Sheldo. Sheldo was, a few guys were like pushing me and whatnot. And oh, we'd love to have you. And I'm like,
absolutely.
A, do I have the time? And B, I'm not as fast as all you guys. But for me, it was more of alignment because I agree with your ideology. I agree with what you guys stand for. Clean racing, fast, the groups. Every time I watch any of you stream, it's like, damn. And I joined a league this year and it's all A and A plus. I have gotten faster in
Leagues
the
are
time.
amazing.
Yeah. It's so helpful to have guys around you that are they want to be competitive, but they're still going to help you out on the track.
Yes, absolutely.
So we'll talk a little bit about Gran Turismo first, because we're all about the inside the helmet is all about track guides and going faster. I'm being a smartass.
Struggle here.
I literally have it in my stream. If you're here for this, you're in the wrong spot.
Right.
So how long have you been like GT7 gaming? I know we're not 25,
GT7 I've been playing since day one, but I've been playing Gran Turismo since day one of the original. I started playing that with my kids, 27 years ago or whatever it is now. And Gran Turismo's always been one of the video games, one of my go-tos. That along with Final Fantasy. Played every one
Okay.
of those too. So those are my two go-tos.
Okay. I feel like I'm kind of starting a little late. I bought my PS5. I had some money. I had some money from the military they gave me for some stuff and whatnot. I was
Okay,
like, you know what? I'm living alone by myself. I have nobody telling me what to do anymore. I'm going to go get myself a PS5.
there you go.
And that was 2 years ago.
I've been blessed from subscribers and supporters of Papa's House of Game. I honestly, the wheel I'm using was donated from Rick Share. The rig I'm sitting on was donated from Chris Prez. I had a donation, financial donation from Rowdy to go get my capture card when I got my computer so I could start streaming through that. I've been blessed. Me personally, I've spent some, of course, the computer,
Mhm.
the monitors, and that stuff. But when it comes to the actual racing gear, the supporters, Lyric has donated my first wheel, which was the G29. He donated a second wheel that we actually gave away. That went through some community events. That went to PHG Iron Fix up in Canada. So I've been blessed so far, but I know I need upgrades. My rig's falling apart.
Mm.
Bolts are getting loose. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more driving so I can get me a new rig here soon.
What would you say is your favorite go to group three and then group four?
For both of them, it's going to be the McLaren.
Okay.
I am a huge McLaren fan. In Group 3, I also like the Beetle. Beetle Power. But I got hooked on to the McLarens early on just because their stability. They're easy to drive.
Mm.
Not the fastest cars in the world, but
Yeah.
man, they're so easy. And you can dominate with those things on the more of the twistier tracks.
Okay.
You're going to
Okay.
struggle on the straightaways with them, but
Mm.
I love the cars. Love the McLarens.
Nice, nice. So in the time, obviously, you've been playing video games, and would you say that Gran Turismo in the video games, you said 20 some years, is the first kind of real community, or was there other games that you played before where there was a community base?
Um, I did before Gran Turismo. I did do a lot of Call of Duty and Warzone, and I had my group of friends I played with. So I wouldn't say it was really community based. It was just more friends based, and we played the heck out of that for I don't know 3 or 4 years straight too. So um, I, I always knew once GT7 came out, I was dumping Warzone because I'm a race fan. So
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
race fan.
That's awesome. I've played Call of Duty with some of my friends, and I can never remember what does what.
Yeah,
And they always say, "You suck at this." I'm like, "Well,
right,
I'm actually better in real life, hence why I'm here today."
right. I they always made I was always a sniper. I'm not the run and gun type.
No.
I would die so easy. So I just stay back away behind them and do what I could from there. So
I like the old school. I have some World War II sniper games that I play every once in a while, and I
that's
I like that kind of sneak and peek
yeah,
type of stuff. Let me sit up on the third floor in the window and
right.
sandbag myself in, and just take
That's
pot
me.
shots.
That's me.
I was never a sniper in the military, though.
Yeah. I never even in the military. I never even touched a weapon.
Okay, I didn't know you served.
I was Navy
Okay, I won't
from
hold that against you.
87 90. I was in the Navy. I was an aviation mechanic on egress systems of the F-14 Tomcats.
Okay.
Worked on the ejection seats, canopies, anti-G suits, everything that made the pilot comfortable and safe.
Yeah. That's super cool.
Yeah,
That's super
it was
cool.
fun.
Yeah, I joined in '88, but Army. I'm also trying to watch what I say because I also have I'm going to be on the other side of the mic tomorrow when I get interviewed.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to watch some things I say with regards to certain things and whatnot because I don't want to spoil everything.
right, right. Makes sense.
So with the community, let's talk why we're here.
Okay.
mental health.
Mental health.
We're not, as I've said, we're not young. We're handsome, but we're not young. I've talked about it on other podcasts and stuff like that. I think over 50, we're kind of went through that time when we were younger that, you just push everything aside. And especially for me being in the army, you can't wear your emotions, and there was a few times when I was in combat and whatnot, and I was quite emotional given certain things were happening, and I would literally go try to find a quiet space so my troops wouldn't see me
Right.
and stuff like that. And for me, it's really changed over the last little while. I feel like I've become more confident in being myself and
Very good.
not afraid. I am
Good.
who I am.
It's good.
So I would ask you kind of the same. Have you noticed either through gaming or life or things, has that changed as you've gotten older? Like just being able to say, I have a it's okay to say you're not okay, right?
Absolutely okay to say you're not okay. I guess I don't know how to put this. I was, I guess, raised that, and maybe not raised, but grew up in an era in family that men didn't show their emotions. So I pretty much locked everything inside, but that creates its own issues. Anger issues come out from that just because you're so frustrated because everything's so bottled up inside of you and you're just wound up so tight. I had a lot of anger issues when I was a kid. My mom passed away when I was 14, and it probably started at that point. I know even when my mom passed away, it took me 3 or 4 days, even at that age, before I actually broke down and shed some tears in quiet by myself in my room, laying on my bed. I guess as I've gotten older, I have definitely grown accustomed to my feelings, I guess, just because there's been many instances in my life where it's become, um, I don't want to say normal, but again, just more comfortable dealing with things. I've lost all four of my grandparents, my stepfather, and just 6 months ago, probably the big one for me, I lost my wife, one of the strongest people I knew in this world, one of the kindest, incredible. She was just freaking incredible. And we met, back in 1988, and we've been together ever since. So even now, today, even 6 months later, still cry almost every day, just because there's so many memories, and your life you get used to living with somebody, and that becomes your life, and suddenly you don't have that. So it's been quite an adjustment, but getting through it day by day.
Yeah, I remember I reached out. I can't remember if I saw you on stream, and I should back up. It's very very rude of me to not say. Personally, I know I've said my condolences before, but I
You have
will certainly. I knew this was going to be emotional for both of us,
right, right.
and this is why we're here because it's real. Um, and yeah, just to say that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
I think it was before Christmas. I can't remember if I saw you on stream or we were talking on Discord and you had said something about first Christmas. You mentioned something about your daughter as well. That hit me because I don't like to see people have to go through those times where, it's going to be difficult. Was there any certain part that you community rallied around you during that Christmas time of your first Christmas without Susan?
The community from day one, even when people knew Susan was just in the hospital before she passed, the support was overwhelming from the community. I was getting phone calls and texts, direct messages in Discord, and a few of my subscribers have my personal number, and they were calling and checking on me and the family. And the support from the community, mainly Gran Turismo community, was just amazing. Like I said, it was overwhelming, the support. Uh, I mean, at times like that, you break down in tears just because of the support you're getting. I mean, it was coming out of left field. I never expected it. But as far as the first, she passed on October 8th. Halloween was her second favorite holiday, maybe her third. So that was first. Then it was her birthday. Then it was Thanksgiving. and Christmas, then the New Year's. Her favorite holiday is Valentine's Day. So we just got through that. And we're now going through all the kids having their first birthdays without her. And then we have Mother's Day coming up next. So the first definitely hurt. I hope they get easier, but I don't want them to be forgotten either. So she will be remembered at every holiday by every family member and even the community. Again, the community, if it wasn't for the community, Grover, I'm not sure I'd be sitting here talking to you today.
For those that have heard my story as well, and I'll get back to that as well. I don't want to take away from that. Is the only reason I am here is because of Gran Turismo. So it takes so much time to get through that, though. I was very close with my mom. I was adopted, but I was very close. My best friend at the time said, "Hey, I got an interview with the army tomorrow. Do you mind? You got a car? Ask your mom if you can borrow the car. Give me a ride." I said, "Yeah, sure." I asked my mom for the car. She says, "If you come back and tell me you joined the army, I'm not going to be happy." So a few hours later, I came back and said, "Mom, I joined the army."
No.
And she always said, "I don't like it, but I will support you." And
Nice.
I was going through basic training on the east coast of Canada, and I got sick, and I called my mom in tears, and I said, "I can't do this anymore." I was 19, first time away from home.
Yeah.
Training's hard.
Yeah.
And she said, "You said you wanted to do this. You will finish it." I feel bad to say, I think it's been 26 years since my mom's been gone, and I still get emotional from it.
Yeah. Me too.
So
42 for me since my mom passed. And it's, yeah, I still have the days too.
yep. And that's kind of, I wanted to talk more about Susan, and obviously very different being a spouse of somebody you've been together for that long. But I remember times where I was just having shitty days, and I was like, "Wow, we didn't have these back then."
Right. Right.
I literally, there was days I was like, "I just want to call my mom. Crap, she's not here anymore."
Yeah. Yeah. I come across moments, like I said, it's only been 6 months. Some days it feels like it was yesterday. So I still come home from work and, I used to always go up to her office and talk to her there. Or like today, watching the NASCAR race, I would always, after the race was over, go up and tell her how everybody finished and whether it was a good race or, it just bounced the whole race off of her. You miss those moments. You realize, it's suddenly pretty lonely. So I lean a lot on the community.
Yeah, it's me living here in the woods by myself. There's some times where I'm like, I got nothing to do. I'm bored. I do race a lot though, or at least pleb my way around the track.
Right, right. Me too.
But there's literally sometimes I'm like, I think I'm gonna go on a stream and see who just wants to hang out.
Yep,
You know,
absolutely.
I remember shortly after there was probably a few of the main people that were supporting you at the time. And I remember being in a lot of different streams and people sorry, I can't remember the names, but it was often like, "How's Papa doing? How's Papa, is Papa okay?" And there'd always be a couple guys that were in communication with, "Oh, we're there, we're supportive." And to me, that really, it's emotional now to think about
It is.
how you can have, I don't want to say a faceless community, but gaming is, you're behind the wheel,
Right.
like inside the helmet. But I find more so recently, as I was able to meet 3 or 4 people now that live closer to me in the community that I've raced with, had some beers. And it's amazing to be able to meet people that one day they're punching you off the track and the next minute you're having a beer.
Having a beer, right? Totally agree with you.
So that whole idea around where you can be supported by a community that, they may see your YouTube channel, may know, "Oh yeah, I've seen Papa around," but to get the support where it's a pretty anonymous game, if you will. I'm new to gaming. So to me, I find that incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, I've been lucky enough to meet a few of my subscribers. Chris was the first one I met. Him and his wife, Chris. We had dinner with them. He was here in Colorado Springs. We had dinner with them real quick, and then I got hooked up. I've been able to meet PhD Salamander. We took a family trip. My wife and my daughter and I went up and visited Susan's grandmother up in Iowa, which was pretty close to Salamander. So he kind of drove down a couple hours. I drove north an hour, and we met at a little restaurant bar and had lunch with him and his girlfriend. And he actually had me sign, like I was some sort of celebrity, sign a T-shirt for him. And you'll see it in his streams. He has it hanging up on the wall here next to him, and I see that. It's like freaking crazy guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I got to meet T Case and C Turbo. The last couple of years, they have been pretty supportive of me getting down to the Rolex 24 in Florida with race tickets and 4 days of camping outside the track.
I remember that.
Yeah. And TK hooks me up with the flights. And this year they did it for me and my daughter and make two amazing guys there. But at camping there at the track, Arrow show was there, Turtle Shell was there, Augustella, and these are all PhD members were there. It was like a little PhD groupie camping for 4 days. It was freaking amazing.
That's crazy.
And this year, while we were there, it was so needed because it had only been, three months since Susan had passed. The break was so needed just to get out of the house and, kind of remind yourself that there's good people in there in the world and there's other things to do. Life's not going to stop. And I've told a few people it's not just because Susan passed, I'm not going to ever move on from her, but I will move forward with her. She's still in my heart, always will be. She's in the memories. Again, you can't just throw away 38 years of love and life. It's not going to happen.
That's heavy. That's very heavy. What during that time of the community rallying around you, what was your kind of, I want to say go to, I would say tools, but like, was it, hey, I'm going to jump on the track and just race a few laps to escape? Or what was your, was it spending time with your daughter or what was your go to?
My escape was definitely my kids. I have two sons and two daughters. My two daughters are actually here in Colorado Springs where I live, and they took the brunt of helping me as I was helping them. Definitely, I have four kids, I have 14 grandkids, and the family is so amazing. We leaned a lot on each other, but they also benefited by watching the community support me. I mean, TK's opened up a GoFundMe immediately. I think a couple of days before Susan had passed, just looking for help. And then it became a memorial donation. And again, the one of the racing leagues that I have been in every season, except for season 6, was the Naughty Racing League. And they did tributes to Susan. Decals were made, racing with Susan. They did memorial laps before they would start their race, all in formation. And I'll never forget that. So thank you to everybody who made all that happen. But when the rest of my family saw stuff like that, I think it actually helped them too. And honestly, even as of 2 days ago, I'm getting phone calls still, people checking in on me. And I just pretty much, like I tell everybody, it's a day by day thing. Some days are good, some days are bad. And in the 6 months that Susan's passed, there's maybe been a handful, maybe 5 days that I haven't shed a tear for my wife. Again, it's just something I'm going to carry with. I count my grief as a sign of my love for my wife. And so I will grieve the rest of my life because I loved her so much.
Yeah, that many years, you're attached.
Oh, yeah.
And like you say, for the family and whatnot, just to see that, and your grandkids probably think you're the coolest freaking grandpa ever.
Some of them still roll their eyes at me.
Oh, you're streaming?
Yeah. Yeah. You're streaming again?
It's funny. I wrote down decals because that was a question I wanted to ask you before you had mentioned it. Because I was going to say, is there, I'm sure I search liveries now that I'm a PhD Grover.
There's
Are there decals
a lot of PhD decals out there.
and specifically ones for Susan?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, here, I'll be right back. So I mentioned the Racing with Susan decal. I was 90% of the decals was created by Joe Collins, amazing supporter of
He'll literally message me on Discord and say, "Hey, I did this for Mental Pit Stop." I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah, yeah. The guy is amazing. Love
Yep.
Joe. So he created the Racing with Susan decal. But then, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, I got a 3D printed plaque from C Dubs of the decal.
What?
So I just have to find a place to put this. But this is the stuff that the community does out of their goodness of their heart.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is amazing.
That's the colors pop on it too.
Right? Yes, they do. I love that thing.
Hopefully, Susan's favorite color was red.
Black and red.
Black and red. I
That's
love
why
that.
most of my liveries on my cars now are black and red too.
Okay. So earlier you talked about how she pushed you to, how was that you before you were like, I don't want to do this? How did that kind of come to be?
So I I got the PS5 and there was an option on there to stream directly from it. So that's where it all started. I was kind of talking to my wife and joking around with it. She's like, you know what? You just do it. You're gonna play games anyway. You never know what's gonna happen. Oh, and she kept pushing. I kept, no, 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 nobody's gonna want to watch me. No, 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 no. Over 50 playing video games. Who's gonna want to watch that? Almost 1,900 subscribers, and 4.5 years later, here we are. Um, but she kept pushing. Even the times when I wanted at the beginning, nobody's even watching my streams. Nobody's coming by. Nobody's saying hi. You know, you're a few months in, and then suddenly people start showing up. Like Shaggy. Shaggy Doo was one of my first OG subscribers. I mean, there's some before that.
Mm-hmm.
Shaggy has been a supporter of Papa's Has a Game for, almost since the inception of the YouTube channel because he wanted to know who beat him in the. Yes, I beat Shaggy in a go kart race. It's the only race I ever beat him in. But she kept pushing. Once people started showing up on a consistent basis, she was so amazed with it that she kept pushing me and, building my confidence off screen to keep going with this thing. If it wasn't for her, one, I probably would have never started, or two, I wouldn't have kept going. So I owe this channel, this community, and everything about it that surrounds it to her. So I'm going to keep going to honor her legacy. I mean, this is her legacy. I just happen to be the one in front of the camera.
Yeah, I'm getting choked up now too. Because as you were saying that, I'm thinking doing this must mean like it means so much. If she hadn't pushed you, yes. How do I say this right? I think it means more. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's probably harder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's harder because she pushed you, but I think that's incredible.
She was an incredible woman. I mean, I can't say that enough, and I can't give enough examples of it. She was just amazing. Everything she did was for others. Her concerns for herself always came last. And that came to her kids, to her grandkids, to her cats. Dega. Yeah.
I find it interesting how, because my mom was exactly the same way. My mom, we would wear, we grew up okay and whatnot. And we'd wear our winter boots and our winter jackets for a couple years or whatever. And then she'd collect them and give them to families down the road and that type of thing. Right.
Yeah.
I find people like Susan and my mom, it's just, there's a very small percentage of people like that in the world.
Right? I totally agree with you, man. Totally agree with you.
And
Yep.
I think that makes it harder.
Absolutely.
To have people that will do anything for someone else like Susan. That's the understanding that I'm getting from hearing you is why are people like Susan and my mom the ones that are taken?
Why them? Absolutely. They're the good people. Yep. I don't deserve to be here. I've got enough of a background that if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. I guarantee you I wouldn't be. I would have either been dead or in jail. You know, she saved me way back in my early 20s. Uh, but yeah, why the good ones?
Yeah. I wrote a,
I fight with that. Almost
yeah,
why her?
yeah. Well, I've been going through, I don't know how long it's been now, maybe 3 months. I've been going through some pretty intensive treatment therapy with a psychologist. And, I had a few guys, 20, 21, 22, that, I was, US equivalent. I was an E8 master warrant officer when I retired, and lost a couple guys that age. And at the time I was what, 39, 40, and I was like, take me, man, take me.
Right.
I carried that guilt for
I can imagine.
so long, based on decision. I talk about it during some of my podcasts and whatnot.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I carried that for so much. But over time of pushing all that aside and now getting the treatment that I need, is it could have been anybody. It could have been somebody else. I made the decisions I made, and it's shitty. The ones that were hard for me is I had some troops that just had babies before they left.
It's tough.
I often think about they're in their 20s now, and I think about them not having a dad, and I blamed myself for that for a long time. And now I'm doing better,
Good.
but I can relate with a lot of stuff that you're saying about Susan and her pushing you to the channel. And I think it's amazing, the community, and the fact that you're living the legacy. And, I'm excited for the day you hit 5,000, 10,000, and
Me
beyond.
too. I mean, it's the last year, the channel itself, the growth has definitely stalled. I spent a lot of time in the doctors and the hospitals with Susan, and then getting back into streaming after Susan was hard. And now, I'm having a hard time getting my streaming schedule nailed down right now, especially this last month for some reason, because I'm finding myself, because I still have bills to pay. You know, the life we built was built around a two-income family, and things still have to get paid. So I've got to step up now. And, I'm driving 8, 10, 12 hours a day to make sure my bills are paid. And for me and my daughter who still lives with me, we still got the rent, still got, got to pay the internet, got to pay public service, got to get the food, got to car
Yeah.
payments, all that still has to get paid. So I'm in the middle of trying to refocus and refine that balance between work and streaming, because I love to stream.
Mm-hmm.
And the community, I keep using that word community, but really to me it's become more of a family, because they've been through, not just with Susan, a couple other hard times before that, and they've helped me through that. It's more of a family than, it's almost 1900 family members versus a community. But the community of Gran Turismo 7 itself is just amazing. If you go watch other people's, your channel, you can go to anybody's channel and everybody is just supporting everybody. The community, it's amazing.
I often refer, I forget maybe it was Cyrus. I said, you basically have Gran Turismo. If Gran Turismo was like, New York City, for example, and then you have a whole bunch of channels that are little suburbs
Right.
around, and that's the easiest way I can describe it.
Great analogy. Absolutely. I like that.
And I love the guys, and you're so right when you say, and I need to remember to change my language sometimes when I say the community, because it really is. There's guys, a few of them, like Rob, a few of my hardcore people that are mental health, like-minded. They're all my mods and whatnot. And in
Right.
our mod, they knew I had to go to the hospital this morning for a test, and they're all like messaging me like they're my brother.
Right. Right.
Hope all goes well. Don't worry. I'm like, first of all, I walk in, I'm like, Okay, how loud? 'Cause I've had MRIs before, but when you're in and it's just it sounds too much like a
Right?
lot of gunfire.
Right? Totally understand that. And I've heard that from many people that have been in the Army and the Marines.
So
Yeah,
last one I had a few months ago for my head, and I haven't shared much of this publicly, which is okay now because I got all my result. Well, I got my result back from my head, which is all good. So
good.
that's very positive.
Good to hear. Yeah.
But when I had that one done, they had headphones with music, and which music we're going to get to very shortly as well. But when I went in this morning, I said, "Hey, I've got PTSD. Is there any way? Do you have headphones?" They're like, "Oh, we got earplugs, headphones. What we like, but we don't have music." I'm like, "That's fine." And it was, I don't know, half hour. I was done. I was out of there. I almost fell asleep. So I was like, "Okay, this is good."
Good. Yes. No kidding.
Before we get to the amazing talent of Papa and Grover's music skills, I wanted to bring back, if you're okay, you said something about the family, the community helped you through other tough times. Are you cool to explain a little bit of that a little bit more?
A lot of it was me, myself. And honestly, to this day, I can't tell you where it stemmed from. There was within the last 10 years, probably two times I'd ended up on suicide watch, 72-hour watch in a hospital. And honestly, I have to believe because I never did any follow ups afterward. Because again, that's just, I'm not supposed to show emotion. I'm not, kind of, it just, I don't know. So I never did any follow up. But looking back, I'm pretty sure it was all stress induced from holding things in. Um, and things just get overwhelming, and you get to that point where enough's enough. I felt at those times that all I was doing was hurting my own family, and they didn't deserve it. It was just, I can't say there was any one thing
Right.
that drove me to those points. It was just
Yeah.
a multitude of.
I can understand that. And you turn that flip side around when you say, whether it's, I can relate with a lot of what you're saying and whatnot, but you realize after the fact, maybe it takes you a while to realize, but people need you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm
And,
so glad to
and
be here.
I would definitely call you a friend. And if I was ever on the
Ditto.
West Coast, it'd definitely be time for a beer.
Anytime you come to Colorado, man.
So I want to talk about the music in that we both use, I have discovered it. I can't even remember whose stream I saw it on, but for me, it's become a outlet for me.
Me too.
And that was my question. I wanted to know, is there a process that you go through when you're making a song, or what is that outlet and how does that look?
At first, when I first started using Suno, I think it was C-Dubs I first heard about it from. When I went and checked it out, I mean, you get so many free credits a day to create songs or whatnot. But I started making songs for my wife. A couple of them came out really good, and I still cry when I listen to them.
Yeah.
But then I made songs for each one of my kids, and then ones for holidays, and my wife wasn't going to be there. And then it was like, so yeah, it started as an outlet just for something to help cope, I guess. But then I started making songs for the YouTube channel, and then songs for other people's YouTube channels and leagues and events. And so I guess, yeah, it's still an outlet. It gives me something to do, especially when instead of just sitting in front of my TV at night or something, between that 8, 9, 10 o'clock hour before, I go to bed and have to get up for work again. But yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. It is an outlet.
Yeah. For me, it started making songs for intro and streaming and all that. And then I get messages or people would see me live streaming. They hear my intro song about the mental pit stop and
Yeah,
you have your members that are part of PHG and I call everybody that's in the mental pit stop part of my pit crew.
there you go.
So then they're like, "Oh my God, this is awesome. Can you make me a song?"
Yeah.
So I had more people. I started just doing some other songs for races or leagues and whatnot. And people were like, where can I listen to this like more frequently? And I did a couple songs that were just more personal.
Mhm.
I did a song called Back to the Wall, which if we ever get the chance, which we will, to go for a beer, I
Yes.
can guarantee you my back will be against the wall.
I'm the same way. I don't like people behind me either. I like to be able to see what's going on in front of me.
So I did the song. I won't let out all my tricks on how I do my songs because I do it a little bit differently. I will tell
Okay.
you after.
All right. That'll work.
So yeah, I did the song Back to the Wall, and people are like, "This is amazing." And I found for me, it was a way that I could articulate some more of my thoughts without, I'm like, "Oh, I don't know how to say this" or whatever, right? And a song was like, "Oh, that's exactly what I meant to say."
Right.
So now I did a 6-song EP that's now on Spotify,
Nice.
and it's called No Mask. It's on Apple Music, a whole bunch of different platforms. People can
Nice.
say what they want about AI music, but for me, people are listening to it. People say, "Hey, I can relate with this," whatever. And to me, that's way more important
Yeah.
than what people think.
Right. I agree. I see on Suno, I think I have almost 50 songs in my saved library, and I have posted most of them on my YouTube channel.
Hmm.
Created its own little playlist for just, I think I call it Tune Time, something like that.
Okay.
So I just post them on my YouTube channel. And again, it for me, it's coping. I don't care if people listen to them. I don't care if people like them. It's for me to share. That's it.
100%.
If you like
Well,
it, great. If you don't, okay.
yeah. Yeah. Or you can say whatever about the AI or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. I even did a song about AI.
Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. But the thing I love about it being on different platforms is when I was driving to my appointment this morning, I opened up my Spotify in the car and there's a few songs that really hit home for me and Back to the Wall and there's another one called Scars Run Deep, stuff like that. I listen to it in when I'm driving, and it for me it creates a bit of a distraction because I'm focused on the music, because probably over the last year, I've had a little bit more difficulty getting myself out of the house. My PTSD has been pretty elevated. I'm super, super hyper vigilant. If I was to play Call of Duty now, I would kick ass.
Do it. Do it. Maybe we need to create that like a Warzone Wednesdays. We used to do Wreckfest Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
we need like a Warzone Wednesday.
Yeah. So yeah, it when I listen to my music on Spotify, it distracts me, because I could be driving and I'm like, overpass bridge, there's a good spot for an ambush, there's a good spot for this. And it's bad. It's not normal. I'm like, there's a sniper. So over the last year, it's been a little bit more difficult, but the treatment has been really good. Getting out of the
Good.
house more easily, setting myself up more for success. Like even a few weeks ago, I had to go get groceries. I was freaking starving. I had nothing left in the house. And I sat in my living room with my jacket on for an hour and I'm like, I can't do this. And I put something into Discord, and of course, there's always a couple smartasses.
Always.
One of them said, "Well, I just got back from the grocery store. I didn't have any issues." I'm like, "Okay, fine, I'll go. Thanks for the
Good.
support."
Right? Good.
But sometimes that's what, when you look at military and whatnot, the brotherhood,
Yeah.
sometimes, not to say the tough love, but, there's guys that I call good friends. And I would say Rob is one of those, because I was bugging the hell out of him yesterday. He was in my stream, but he wasn't listening. And Rob pushes me to get faster because he's fast,
Rob is fast. He says
right?
he's not, but he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And I know Deep Forest is one of his tracks. Right. So he got a 26. I think he had a 27.1. I got a 26.9. And then he got a a low 26.9. So on the stream, I jokingly said, huh, I think I'm going to do a couple laps of deep forest. And within 5 laps, I did a 26.8.
Nice.
And I had my friends list up on the screen. I'm like, oh, Rob, did you see that?
Did you
I'm
see
not.
that?
So that's what I love about a brotherhood and a community
Yep.
where, you have those people that push you. And I messaged Rob after and I said I felt bad because he's like, dude, anytime. He's like, I razz the heck out of you when you're
Yeah, right.
streaming. So it's all good. It's all good.
I have my markers too. The people I chase. Shaggy, he's always one I'm chasing. Talon, every time I see him, some of the OGs that have just been with me for forever, 4 years, that, you want to be as good as them.
Mm.
I'll never be as good as them.
No.
But if they push you, push you, and push you. Just by posting times, they give you that goal to be like them. So kudos to those guys, man.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Rob too. Rob too. Absolutely.
Yeah. Rob is again, like you said, he says he's not fast, and then
Yeah.
we'll get in a race, and I'm like, I'm P10 and he's P. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, see, Shaggy, he won't say that he's not fast, but this is a guy that still plays on a controller and drives automatic, and he's
oh
still
wow.
beating my ass. So that's the drive. But I mean, if you know, you know who Shaggy is. The guy is
Yeah,
just
yeah,
amazing in the driving. So,
yeah, yeah. Well, let me ask you this question based on mental health and driving,
uh-huh.
because I, for the longest time, I don't want to say struggled. I did a podcast about comparison, right? And whether it's your YouTube channel, Kizzy started his channel about the same time, and he has, I think, 2 or 3 more subscribers than I do.
Okay.
I'm joking. He
Yeah,
has a lot
he
more,
has a lot more. Yeah.
and same with racing. I know with my PTSD, my ADHD, and just my mental capacity at sometimes is overwhelmed, right? I could literally be driving and like there could be a squirrel run across the track and I'm like, oh, Grover just crashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you find that it's important for people to be on their own journey and not like what would be your kind of thoughts on the mental health capacity, or not mental health, the mental strength and skills that it takes to race? I think everybody's on a different journey is what I'm trying to get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I'll never be as fast as Shaggy or Talon or Cyrus Nicky or Hoggy or, I mean, there's no way. I just don't have that capacity to do so. I don't care if I practice the same track for a year. I'm just not going to, I'm going to peak at some point and it will still be below those guys. It's just, and I guess the mental part of it is you have to know that you're not going to be, I tell myself, as much as I would love to be in the Gran Turismo World Series event next year, I'm not going to be there. I know that, but you have to be realistic with yourself and stop putting so much stress and emphasis to do so. It's a game. Go have fun.
Yep. That took me I'm working on it more now.
Yeah.
And we had Sunday Fun Day, and Doc hosted for me, streamed and hosted a lobby for Sunday Fun Day, which we
Cool.
do every Sunday. We put 4 cars on as a poll, and everybody in the pit crew gets to vote on the car they want. And this morning was the Subaru Impreza. It's a road car, but oh my god, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Like literally everybody's just drifting around corners. It
Nice.
was it was a blast.
And you have to do
And
that. You have to do that. Good on you.
100% for me it takes and that's why I started doing it on Sundays to kind of round out the rest of the week, and it's no stress cuz I have enough stress in my life, but
Yeah.
I also realized through treatment that coming from the background and the life I've had is I actually operate better in chaos than I do like this calm stuff. I'm like, okay, what's this?
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't deal well with this stuff.
Gives you too much time to think.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So going back to kind of the go to, you had mentioned Cyrus Nicky. who are those guys like, maybe not now, maybe as you were, trying to get faster and whatnot. Who are those guys you jump in the lobby with and you're like, holy smokes, so and so's in this lobby? Who are a couple of those guys?
You know, obviously VIP, the whole
Mm,
team of VIP, they're just a group of fast guys. So if you get in a lobby with them, they're going to be up front. So they're the ones you chase. You also have all the guys from Sector 7 and Greasy's. I can't say there's one or two. It's more of, I guess, being because I'm part of a team, I look at more of teams.
right.
So I notice more teams than I do individuals.
Okay.
With that being said, I only have the two accounts and they're both in the US. I have thought about creating a UK account
Mm,
because I would love to get into lobbies with Rory or Digit or Hoggy or, yeah, I mean, now those would be the guys that would be intimidating to me. But the issue I would still have is getting to their lobbies in the A plus rank. I reached A plus once for two races. I got it. Two races later, I lost it.
okay.
Never been able to get back to it. So, but I, those would be the guys. If I were ended up in a lobby with them, I would be intimidated, fanboying about. Now, I have had Rory come into my stream and in chat a few times. The first time he did, I completely wrecked because I was shocked. We were out Mount Panorama, which isn't one of my best tracks anyway, coming down the back stretch, coming down the hill, and Rory pops in, and I just completely lost it, wrecked going down the straightaway.
It's not easy on a good day when Rory's not in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
And of course, chat will every now and then remind me of that. But man, I have so much respect for a lot of different people. But I guess to answer your question, I don't look at individuals so much as I do the teams because I mean, being as they keep reminding me, the proprietor of PHG, I guess that's just, I look at the VIPs, I look at the Sector 7s,
Mhm.
you know, and there's always people like yourself, that are good people. And that's what I want PhD to be represented by is good people, not necessarily best racers in the world. We've got some great racers, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
and some really fast guys, but another decal that Joe created that we've now adopted as our motto for a PhD is great racers, better people.
Wow. I need to write that one down. I need to get that one.
Yep. And that's been kind of adopted as our team motto. So,
Well, part of the reason I asked is because when you said Cyrus Nicky, the week of Group 4, Brands Hatch, it was my first time ever. I had top 1,000 global time, and I raced so much that week. And every race, I was in the top, I think it was in the top 5 most of the lobbies. And I was
nice.
VIP player, Cyrus Nicky, whole bunch of different guys. And that was the week I got my A because I was B,
Nice.
right? And I was just shitting myself. I still have the replay.
Yeah. Hey, we all know Cyrus is a fast freaking driver, man.
Yeah.
But he's also a great guy, a great team owner. He has put together one heck of a team over there.
Yeah,
Kudos
I
to
think
them.
it's crazy. Well, and I was thinking about when you were talking about different accounts because I have way too many accounts to maintain. I'm working on my European account right now to get to A, but that one is this week at Deep Forest. I'm number 1 in the country because my European account is based out of Cyprus, where I where I did my first peacekeeping tour in 1989.
Okay.
So there's probably about 3 sim racers there. So I'm normally in the top 3.
Nice. Good for you. That's
Not
the
that
way
it
to do
matters.
it. That's the
Not
way
that
to
it
do
matters.
it.
But yeah, I was thinking because I have a Not Grover account, which is A, which is in the US. So hopefully we can jump into a lobby sometime because I don't think there's ever been a time that we've matched in a daily.
I don't think so.
No,
Not that I can recall.
no.
Both of my accounts are kind of like mid A.
Okay.
I have PhD Papa and PhD Angel, which is again a shout out to my wife. She has
Yeah.
officially become PhD Angel.
I love that. I love that.
So you'll see on all my new liveries too. somewhere on my car, usually on the rear wing fins, I'll have the name Angel there. That's a shout out to
Okay.
her.
That's amazing. When I go to different people's discords, I mean, I've said this to kind of everybody that's been on as a guest. When I go into anybody's discord, the first spot I go to is the mental health. And have you noticed a difference in the last little while as the community has grown, that more streamers, more high, I wouldn't say high profile, like Digit popped into my stream once and didn't say anything. The only reason I knew it is because on Monday morning I popped in. He said, "Hey Grover, good stream on the weekend."
Nice. Very nice.
Do you find more people now are talking about mental health?
I guess in my perspective, again, talking openly about mental health and emotions and stuff like that's still kind of new for me. I did open a mental health channel on my Discord, but I got to say, for most of the Discords that I do am a part of, almost every one of them has a mental health section. And I find that amazing. Uh, and most of the time, it's just people posting memes or pictures or something like that. Occasionally, somebody will post a story if they're having a bad day or something, and it instantly people are right there helping him or her. I find it amazing. And again, these are all Gran Turismo discords that I'm a part of. I'm probably a part of 15 to 20 of them.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you at least 10 of them have a mental health channel.
Yeah, I have. Again, I've based everything kind of on the pit stop and whatnot. I have a mental tuning. It's called the mental tune up,
Yep.
and then I also have a buddy check, which I've taken from the military because we have battle buddies, and there's normally about 4 to 6 of us. I started doing a Discord call every weekend. It's on Saturday mornings. Anybody who wants to, sometimes people join, they just listen, and guys are like, oh, I'm having a shitty week. And there's 5 or 6 of us on there normally and just talk. Sometimes it's racing. Sometimes I'll share some therapy stuff that I'm going through, and it's like, oh, I can relate with that. For me,
That's amazing.
I like to do those buddy checks. For me, I'm trying to remove some of the facelessness. If you go into my Discord on the welcome, I actually have a video. People can hear my voice rather than welcome to my Discord. So I've tried to, you know, I text and email all day long. If people in my Discord know, I send voice notes.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's easier. My hands are always sore because I'm always driving. So I can't always text.
Right.
So voice notes just work for me. So just trying to remove that. I think that's amazing that the so many people have that mental health aspect. When I started, I just hit a year on my channel like a month ago maybe.
Congrats.
And thank you. And I told myself when I started this, if I can help just one person, the channel's a success. And the amount of messages that I get in Discord that from people that have said, hey, you helped me open up a little bit more, or they hear me talk about my stuff. And I would just say before I hand it over to you I would say one thing I've noticed about myself and others is I think it's important no matter what you're going through, there's always other people that are either going through worse or there's other people that are going through. Everybody reacts to different situations in different ways.
Yeah.
We are all individuals. People look at me and see what I've been through and they're like, "How are you still here?"
Right.
Because I feel I have a voice to help other people.
Kudos to you for doing so.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, can I ask one point on mental health and perhaps a last PhD plug? Join the Discord, join PhD.
Yeah. I have to say, I agree with the perspective that there's always somebody having a worse day or a worse moment of their life right now. And I had that epiphany actually just a few days ago. We have a park right here in the middle of Colorado Springs, Palmer Park, and it's got a lookout way up on top, kind of up on a short little mountain, a hill. You can go up onto this lookout and you can see the entire mountain range, city, and it gives you that sense of how small you really are just within that city, my city, Colorado Springs. And then you put that in perspective. Well, outside of that, you have state. Then you have the United States. And I mean, other nations and countries and an entire freaking world. And it helped me put it into perspective. Just like you said, people are having a worse day than I'm having. And it was an epiphany moment for me because it's so easy to get caught up in your own in your own head, in your own emotions, and forget about everybody else. So I guess keeping that in mind can definitely help. I think it's going to help me in the long run. Because even as of last night, my daughter and I are talking about how we can now go help people. What can we do to help somebody that's homeless? What can we do to help somebody that doesn't have food? And that's just who my daughter is. She's got an amazing freaking heart. So we'll be working on that soon.
My name's Grover. This is Inside the Helmet. We talk what you don't post, the hits you take that never make the highlight reel. Today I got my brother Papa's house again. We're going past the scoreboard, past the trash talk, deep into that quiet place where it's just you and the noise in your head. Strap in. We're going inside the helmet. Sweating your eyes on a Friday night, but the real fight's back at home. Crowd on their feet, but your chest feels tight and you still feel alone. Coach yelling tough, but your hands just shake. You laugh it off, say you're fine, but the smile you wear is a mask that aches. You're breaking at the spine. You hear that voice say you ain't enough. Another hit, another bluff. But there's a crack in all the steel you sell. Let it open up, let it out. Inside the helmet, where the thoughts run wild, where the fear talks loud like a broken child. We're talking it out, not toughing it through. Glory and power, standing with you. Inside the helmet, when the lights burn bright, when you can't find calm in the middle of the fight. We're turning that weight into something true. Inside the helmet, we make it through. Yeah. Papa leans in, says, man, I know I've missed shots, lost sleep, lost friends. What if your worth ain't the winds you show? What if it's how your story bends? You nod slow, feel your guard unhook, tears slip under your chin. For the first time you don't look away, you let the hurt walk in. Every scar you hide under passing tape, every doubt that shapes your shape. This is where we drag it into lie. Let your tired heart pick the fight. Inside the helmet, where the thoughts run wild, where the fear talks loud like a broken child. We're talking it out, not toughing it through. Grover and Papa, standing with you. Inside the helmet, but when the crowd gets cold, when the stories in your head get old, we're turning that weight into something true. Inside the helmet, we make it through. You ain't weak for saying I'm not okay. Strong as staying, not walking away. One breath, one word, one call, one day we break that chain, play our own play. Inside the helmet, where the doubts still shout, we answer back when the lights go out. We're talking it out, not toughing it through. Grover and Papa, right here with you. Inside the helmet, when the dark feels long, we share that load till the fear feels gone. We're turning that pain into something new. Inside the helmet, we Sunday slate. More than a number on a back plate. If your mind feels heavy, let the guard drop low. Talk it out, reach out, let somebody know. One voice shaking can start a song, a whole room singing can carry